Good evening and welcome to Rosé Bespoke channel. So here we are, and tonight I would like to talk to you about something that's actually quite dear to my heart. Now this is Stag's Breath Whisky Liqueur. As a lot of you know, I call Scotland my home now, and I've lived here for over 6 years or something. But long before I moved here, Newtonmore and Cairngorm were the first places that I ever went to in Scotland. And Stag's Breath is made in Newtonmore. It's a relatively small town, you know, well, decent size by Scottish terms, but pretty small really. Although they are very good at shinty. Newtonmore and Cairngorm are two of the best shinty teams in Scotland. If you don't know what shinty is, I would hugely recommend get on YouTube and watch some. If you like sport, to be honest, you'll love it. It's imagine rugby with weapons. So rugby with big sticks, great fun. So anyway, Stag's Breath. Now this, as you see, I've already had some. This whisky liqueur, first time I had it was, like I say, when I went to Newtonmore and I was working for a client, and we went to the New Year's Eve Hogmanay celebration, which Newtonmore Hogmanay celebration is absolutely incredible. Like I say, it's only a small town, but every town in the surrounding area comes out. They drink this, they're big flaming torches, they parade through the street, they have like a concert. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's far better than New Year in Edinburgh or London. You know, it's a much more enjoyable experience. But anyway, so that was the first time I tried this, and certainly in the sort of experience of it, you know, it's like you drink a holiday drink. You buy a bottle of wine on holiday, it's the best wine you've ever had while you're sat on the beach. You get it home and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I even drank this. So, you know, maybe if I take a little bit of the blinkers off, it won't be quite, you know, I'll try and make it an honest review and not just rave about it because it has sentimental memories. Basically, it's a mixture of whiskey, which I would assume is Speyside whiskey, because it's well, it's a bit of Scotland that's kind of on the border. It is Speyside. It's also Highlands. If you look at the sort of region maps of whiskey in Scotland, there's a sort of overlap in that area. They're just above Dalwhinnie. They, you know, so I would assume they're going to get their whiskey from the local distilleries. But yeah, Speyside, Highlands. And then it's just basically mixed with honey, or honeycomb as they describe it on here. So, and a bit of secret, who knows what that could be, probably some sort of botanicals I would assume. But immediately, I mean, if you give it a sniff, it's got like a, can I describe it as a bitter melon? I mean, would that make sense to you? Like a bitter melon. It's not overtly honey. It's more subtle than that. It's a citrusy. It's not as, you know, you when you think of these sort of whiskey liqueurs, you think of things like Gleyvar. They tend to have a very Christmassy flavour, shall we say, but this is fresher. Just in the nose, I can tell you this is fresher. So let's have a wee swig. Wee swally. So yes, it's very nice. You see, it's not, and it is sweet. Of course, it's sweet. It's made with honey, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. It's not a sticky liqueur. and obviously it's also not a sort of whiskey style. I mean, it's obviously not just like drinking whiskey. It hasn't got that burn to it, needless to say. But the whiskey comes with the length, actually. It's sort of like your immediate flavour is like a fruity, maybe slightly flowery, maybe like a bit like rose water, like sort of rose water flowery beginning, and then with the length you get the more obviously honey tones. I mean, it's I often use this if I'm making desserts. Goes very well in Cranachan if you're making that, you know, or trifles. It's particularly good for that. It's not expensive at all. I think it's about £20 a bottle or something, which is very reasonable. It's probably something that your friends don't have. So if you want to serve something after dinner, this is actually a good choice. Now, it's rather nice over ice. I mean, generally I don't recommend serving anything whiskey based over ice, but because of the sweetness, it is nice over ice. What's the percentage here? It's 19.8, so it's approximately half the strength to drink of a whiskey, or a little bit under half, probably the average whiskey. So you know, you can have a glass of it. You obviously can't drive, but you can have a glass of it, and you're not going to be feeling drunk or anything like that. So it's actually a rather good way of finishing up a dinner party with something that's not too strong. Yeah, I mean, it's thinner in texture than most whiskey liqueurs, but I'll be honest, in my opinion, it being thinner is a good thing, because I usually find whiskey liqueurs too syrupy, and this is a lot less syrupy. It's got a lot more freshness. It's, in fact, as my sort of palate is changing as I'm drinking it, I'm getting a sort of bitter orange peel. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. It's an orange peel. You know, sort of like, if you just bite into an orange without peeling it. It's got that sort of feel to it, which is I'm probably not describing an enjoyable way, but it's an enjoyable experience. I think you could probably even try chilling it down a bit like a limoncello, and serving it. Again, you know, I'm breaking with tradition, but I don't think that matters. Yeah, maybe chilled like a limoncello after dinner. I would, you know, I'd even probably serve it in the cheese course. The sweetness would probably be a really good foil for cheese. Whiskey goes well with cheese anyway. It's a sort of less known fact, but whiskey does go very well with cheese. And I think the sweetness of this would pair very well to strong salty cheese. I think that would be very enjoyable. In fact, maybe I'll when I get some good quality cheese in, I might do that. We'll have a bit of a pairing, maybe try this. And another thing I love with cheese is a very, very peaty sort of island whiskey. Goes well with cheese, in my opinion. So maybe we'll try that, and hopefully you'll be able to get some of this. I know they're not making it at the moment. They're not making it during the COVID-19 lockdown, but there's still plenty of bottles around. There's a few supermarkets that stock it. You can get it directly from the producer. House of Brewer, this big Scottish shop, they definitely sell it. So, you know, I'm sure you can get hold of it. Please tell me what you think. If you've had it before, if you love it, if you hate it, if it made you spew, if it made you go out and buy 20 more bottles. I'd love to hear about it. Write it in the comments. I'm really interested. If you're getting totally different flavour notes from this than I am, you are 100% entitled to your opinion, and I would love to hear it, because to me it's fascinating to hear how different people's palate taste things differently. So I'd love to hear that. So thank you very much. Please subscribe to see more videos on my channel. I'm posting them up all the time now, almost one every day. So there's something new all the time, and I really look forward to having you along with me on my journey, and we can learn more about butlering, food, drink, sartorial, household management. There's all sorts of things. So thank you very much, and cheers. Slanjabar.